So let's just settle into our meditation posture. And I am going to go right into it now because, of course, as usual, I'm just jabbering away. And so before we start, just settle with your feet flat on the floor. You can maybe feel those toe pads, the tips of the toes, the soles of the feet. If you are sitting at your desk or on a chair with a computer in front of you, and really be sitting on top of your sits bones, or shoulders are aligned with the hips. And just imagine your spine lengthening. Take a nice deep breath and just relax. And just take your mind to the crown of the head and just release any tension there. The face, throat, back of the neck, shoulders. Shoulder blades, your chest and belly and limbs. And then bring the mind to the breath. Excuse me. And just notice if there are any sounds in your environment, just allow them to be there. Try not to follow with your mind, and then bring the mind to the breath, just feeling the sensations of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. So this can be the rising and the falling of the chest, the belly, and maybe just very simply the sort of the sensation of the air flowing in and out of the nostrils. So for me, breathing is something we're doing all the time. It's also good to pay attention to it, because when we're doing things like on the computer, sometimes we're focusing really in on something, we just kind of forget to breathe, or we change our breathing pattern. So nice, steady, regular breathing is very helpful for the mind. And we might do a bit of that on Friday. But for now, let's get back to Tara. Bring to mind all the people of your life, the friends, the ones you don't like so much, and the strangers. Bring them all together. And be aware that they could change place at any time. And then just know that they're all equal in their wish to be happy. They're all equal in their wish to be free from suffering. And within each and every single sentient being is this capacity, or this seed, or this enlightened mind. So we'll do this meditation on Tara this morning for all the people of our life, by extension, all of sentient beings. And just keep in mind our very precious teachers, and for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. So imagine Tara in front of you, and she's a light body. It's very important to try and remember that when we're meditating on these deities, it's all about light and bliss. So the materials of this earth are metal and wood and paint and canvas. But it's just there to remind you. So here is this very beautiful Tara. Anyway, in and of herself, she's quite powerful, this statue. It's just to remind you how she is. So in your mind, imagine this radiant green body, a light body. And it can be, you You can make her large. It's probably a little bit easier to visualize. And you can have her maybe just about 6 to 8 feet away at the level of your forehead. And you imagine she's sitting on a multicolored lotus and her left foot is drawn in and her right foot is out, resting on its own little multicolored lotus. And her left foot drawn in indicates her complete and effortless control over her desire energy. And her right foot out indicates her willingness and her capacity to get up and act for sentient beings. So often she's referred to as the wish-fulfilling Buddha, and she represents the quick capacity, and it's represented here as female, to cut through the obstacles, to get things done and to be successful, and of course, to make us blissful. So you imagine Tara useful, very, very young, and radiant and full of energy, full of bliss. And she wears silken garments and jewelry. And she's got this 5-pointed crown on her head, also embedded with jewelry. So there's jewelry on her ears, her ankles, her arms, and around her neck, and her ankles, her toes. And you can imagine she's the manifestation of the mind of your teacher, if you have a teacher. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Tara. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So now we're going to imagine one chakra at a time, light. So we start with the body and imagine Lama Tara sending powerful, blissful white light from the Om at her brow chakra. And this enters your brow and completely fills you. And imagine that all your problems and sufferings and heaviness of body are purified by this light. And all the harm you've ever done to any living being with this body and all infinite past bodies is also purified, eradicated, completely, not one atom left. So as we recite the mantra, Om Tare Tutare Ture Swa. 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 Now imagine light coming again, and this time you visualize your body has become a blissful light body, just like Tara's, indestructible, just like it will be when you attain the deity's body, the Sambhabakaya. And imagine it's not possible to ever harm others with this body, only to benefit. Again, as we recite the mantra. Om Tare Tutare Ture Som. Om Tare Tutare Ture Som. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soham. 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 Now our speech. So this time imagine Tara sending red light this time from the R at her throat chakra to your throat. And this purifies all our problems of speech, inappropriate speech, useless speech, uncontrolled speech, angry speech, criticism, the inability to express ourselves appropriately, and all the harm we've ever done to any living being with the speech of our life, this life, and our infinite past lives. And imagine this is also completely purified, eradicated by this blissful red light, not one atom left. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soham. 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 Now light comes again, the red light. And imagine that you're full of this blissful, perfect, compassionate, wisdom, appropriate speech of Lama Tara, such that whatever sound you utter is necessarily beneficial to any living being who hears it. And all of this is your potential. So feel full of this powerful red speech energy. Om tare tutare ture soham. 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 Now Lama Tara sends powerful beams of blue light, blue like the sky, from the blue hum at her heart chakra. And this enters your heart, and imagine that all the unhappiness of mind, any confusion, arrogance, anger, any jealousy or pride, resentment, hurt, anxiety, any kind of self-hate, depression, all of this is completely purified, and that all your delusions, including the root delusion, ego grasping, which is the cause of all of our own suffering and why we harm others, is completely eradicated by this powerful blue light. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om tare tutare ture soham. 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 Now imagine the blue light coming again, and this time feel full of the blissful, omniscient, compassionate mind of Lama Tara, all of which is your potential, as we recite the mantra. Om tare tutare ture soham. 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 Now imagine this time there are 3 lights are coming from Lama Tara's 3 chakras, and they're coming all at the same time, and they penetrate your corresponding 3 places. And this time feel that even the subtlest stains of all delusion are completely eradicated. There's not one atom left. And feel very blissful. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soham. 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 So stay in this blissful state for a minute and concentrate on being one with the energy of Mother Tara. Now imagine that Lama Tara's lotus dissolves up into her body, and at the same time the little lotus under her foot also dissolving up into her leg, into her body. And now she comes to sit above the crown of your head, facing the same way as you, an inch or 2. This green, blissful, light energy, action energy, compassionate energy. And out of her wish to be one with your mind, and imagine this is your teacher, remember also, she dissolves into green light and melts into you through the crown and merges with the body, speech, and mind. And think, I am one with Lama Tara's holy body, holy speech, and holy mind. And feel really blissful. And now think, now that I am Tara, I must lead others to enlightenment, all these people of your life, all the sentient beings. And imagine in the front your enemies, eyeball to eyeball, the ones you don't like. And to the front, to the left, are all your friends, the ones you really, really love. And to the right and everywhere else, up above, behind, below, all the rest of sentient beings, the strangers, pervading all of space, and think they're all the same. They all want happiness. They don't want suffering. They all possess Buddha nature. And now from your heart, imagine millions and millions of tiny green taras emanate out, and they enter the friends, the enemies, and the strangers. And they take away all this suffering and give them everything they need, transforming them into their own Tara. And imagine this, really, really want this as we recite the mantra again. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soham. 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 And now imagine all these transformed taras absorb into you, and then they enhance your own tara nature. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this meditation to all sentient beings, and also for yourself as we move along our spiritual path. So I also wanted to share with you something the Kadrila said. It was about how we block ourselves with our own negative self-talk. So all these negative things we feel about ourselves inside, it actually blocks us from receiving what it is we want to receive. You know, we want all these good things in our life. We want good friends. We want beautiful things. We want to feel really good energy. We want to be able to do a nice practice. But when we keep up with this negative self-talk and we have this, it actually blocks us from being able to receive. So what she talked about was in the context of the empowerment, you can't receive the energy if you're blocked with our usual concrete sort of boring old self. So I just thought also too would apply in our everyday life as well. We can't receive any kind of positive energy if we're somehow we're blocked. So all of these practices that we're doing, you know, the Tara, all your own personal practices and all the practices we're doing in the evening with the Vajrasattva, it really helps to kind of clear away that in a way, you know. And we can only do the best we can. But I just thought I'd pass that along. Okay, everybody. So lovely to see you. Happy 4th of July. Freedom. Okay, so that's really interesting before we go. I had this thought, you know, freedom is only as much as we're conditioned. We're so interested in being free, and I live in the West and I'm free. But really, when it comes down to it, a lot of our choices are made according to the culture that we live in, the way we think, and according to our attachment and our grasping and our anger. And in a way, our decisions are framed by our delusions a lot of the time. So anyway, I just wanted to think about that when we're thinking about freedom. We're not as free as we think, perhaps, but we could be free. It's our choice. Okay, everyone. Thank you. Lots of love, and I'll see some of you this evening if you're not out partying. Okay. Take
Okay.
care.